Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite makes the process of becoming a published, best-selling author as simple as sipping your morning cup of coffee. You can learn more about Authors Unite at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Kristi Brown with us. She is a nutritional therapist and Pilates instructor, where she helps women get out of pain, gain energy, and get back to living their life. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler.
Of course. Grateful to have you here. We'll jump right into the first one. The first one I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Well, I am married to a military man, and we move around quite a bit. And so after one of our moves, I remember driving by this organization and just like putting it out in the universe and saying, I want this particular job there. I didn't know anybody there. I didn't have any connections, and I didn't know how quickly things would change or how much turnover there was. But I just put it out in the universe and just sort of let it happen. And several months later, I applied for a job, which I thought was that position, and went through the interview process, got to the final two. And I remember distinctly, they said, do you want to work on Project X or Project Y? And I said, I was very specific. I knew exactly what I wanted to be doing in this organization. And I said, I want Project Y. Well, the position I was applying for at the time was actually for Project X. So I didn't get the job. But 3 weeks later, they called me up and said, turns out we have an opening for now for Project Y. We don't want to interview. We're just going to offer it to you. And it was this moment of like, wow, when you just let something land in the universe and let it go and let go of the how and how it all just sort of unfolds and happens. It was a really powerful lesson for me.
Thank you for sharing that with us. The next one I have for you is, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
That's a great question. And what I want people to really understand is that the body always wants to heal. I see so many people that think that their body is working against them. And in truth, it's, every symptom, everything is a message that your body's trying to tell you to help you figure out how to heal. And when you start taking small steps to create healing, how the body can really run with it and make dramatic changes.
And what's your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily industry specific.
Overall is to focus on your mind first, and believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing to do.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
So many things, but I would tell myself to not worry about having it all figured out and to just choose what I love and focus there.
And it could tie in, but in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
I believe the key to happiness is that you get to choose, and that, your thoughts determine your feelings and you get to choose those thoughts.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
A recent one that has really resonated with me is called Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. And it's not a business book, but what it was is it really forces you to look at end-of-life care and conversations about end of life. And in turn, by looking at that, it forces you to look at how you want to live your life. And it was really powerful.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote is, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can, by Arthur Ashe. And I tend to get overwhelmed, but I always come back to that quote. It really centers me and reminds me that I've got something I can do right now.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where's the best place for people to find you online?
Thank you. My website may be the best place. It's kpbbalancedwellness.com. And if people have questions about nutrition or something that they want to talk through, they can sign up for a free call.
Perfect. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app. free for iOS and Android.